let's transition to the hardwood. The WNBA Finals, we have another Game 5. Like last year, the excitement was just amounting to exceeding expectations in every way, shape, and form. We're going to have a Game 5 yet again.
This series has gone the exact same way last year's series went. Game 1, Sparks stole one in Minnesota. Game 2, Minnesota ties it up. Game 3, Sparks win one win away from the chip at home. They lose at home last night
by 11.
And now Game 5, Minnesota. Only difference is the MVP is on the other team now. And Sylvia Fowles went off. Yes. I mean, no joke. 22 points, 14 rebounds. But I'll tell you why this series has gone to Game 5.
Why?
Offensive rebounds. Way too many outside shots for the Sparks early on. Like they just were launching them from 3, and they got ice cold. And then Rebecca Brunson.
Yeah.
Rebecca Brunson was such a spark of energy. Well, that's kind of ironic. A spark of energy.
You noticed something, Eliev. I'm sorry to cut you off. I've noticed the last 2 weeks, your puns have really gotten really good.
There you go.
I've just noticed that. I just had to point that out.
Now I can graduate. That's all I needed to graduate. So 18.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, 18 points. It's all good. 13 rebounds for Rebecca Brunson. Now, she was non-existent in Game 3 where they lost, of course, and there you go. You see what happens. And then let me go back to the offensive rebounds. 16 offensive rebounds.
Ouch.
For the Lynx. I mean, they showed their grind-out mentality in full display.
Yeah.
Full display. And then I talked about the outside shots for LA. 5 of 22 from 3-point range. That'll do it right there. And straight up, the Lynx just came in to the Sparks house and really just showed them up. But the Sparks are more experienced this year.
And one of the things...
honestly, they're overall a better team this year.
Yeah.
So going back to Minnesota, I think... Well, man, I don't know if I could... I don't know who I'm choosing yet, but...
I'm about to ask you that question.
It's going to be very exciting because every game so far has just left me at the edge of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason that this Game 5 should be any different. And if we can tell anything from last year's series, which has literally been the script for this year's series, is that Game 5, that's going to be something you want to tune in for. And what I'll say is this. When it comes down to it, the Sparks have to rely on their defense and their ball movement. Something that they were missing. A lot of shots earlier in the shot clock, and just not the way they play was what I saw a lot earlier in the game last year. I mean, yesterday.
And the thing that I'm most impressed with is just that this is the second straight year we're seeing the same thing. And this is the thing that people who don't watch the WNBA as much as like some people don't, it's just like, look at this example. When we look at the WNBA, and when you are looking to get interested in it, or you're trying to find some way to watch it, just look at the example of these 2 past finals. Both of these teams are grinding it out, playing solid basketball, two-way basketball. It's not just all about offense or defense. It's good two-way basketball.
Yep.
And that's what's exciting to watch. That's why I'm excited. But I'm going to ask you the question, then we have to move on, because for me...
Wait, first you pick.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Sparks. Because I think the Sparks are just, like last year, they're going to remember that last year, and Agumake is going to show up. I think Parker is going to ball out again. She's going to add 20 points plus, 10 plus rebounds. I can easily see that happening, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be probably a 3 or 4 point game when all said and done.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be under 10. That's for sure. But I'm going to say that Candace Parker is going to do what she does best. She's going to do a little bit of everything. She's going to control the pace of the game. That's what I see out of her. Not the one that's going to score the most points or have the biggest numbers in each stat, but she's going to be in each stat. She's going to stuff that stat sheet, and that's going to be the difference. But primarily, I'm picking the Sparks because as much as I'd like to say home court advantage means something, when you're playing against the Sparks, from what I've noticed, it doesn't. No. They don't care where they're at least with these 2 teams. It doesn't matter whose house it is. These 2 teams are going to go to battle, and I'm going to go with the Sparks to go back to back.
Russell Westbrook has a brand new deal. And ladies and gentlemen, it's 5 years and it's $205 million.
Woo, record breaking. Sorry, Steph, 201 wasn't enough.
Wow. So Westbrook, I think we hit on it last week, especially the acquisition of Carmelo Anthony and adding with Paul George. I went out and said if the Thunder got Dwayne Wade, I think they would have a good chance to be. And people on Twitter were like, "Whoa, hold the pump, the brakes there," and everybody was all over me. But we're gonna get to Dwayne Wade in a second. But look, Russell Westbrook, this guy, we've said it for a year now on this show. He's an assassin with the basketball. And the way he goes out there every night and performs to his highest potential, like he goes out there, his potential is sky high. And the way that he plays with the grinding mentality, he's like, bump everybody. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat you down. That mentality right there is what got him this contract.
I'll tell you what, Russell Westbrook reached his potential as far as an individual player last year. I want to see him reach his potential as a leader this year. When you have a squad, when you have teammates, how can you lead this team, distribute the basketball, make sure everything is flowing with these two guys on your roster now? And that will determine where they end up as far as, because I think they're going to be top 5 no matter what in the West. Even though the West is absolutely ridiculous, I think they're going to end up top 5 no matter what. But where they are in that top 5 is going to all rely on the way Westbrook can lead this team and how he can be a leader when everyone's doubting him. Everyone is doubting him. Not no one, but a lot of people don't think that he has that capability as a leader. Like if he doesn't have the rock the entire time, then it won't work. I disagree.
But I'm also interested because you mentioned the leadership before we move on to Dwayne Wade. Russell Westbrook played with Kevin Durant. He was sharing the rock with him.
Right.
But for the last few years, Paul George has been in Indianapolis. It's been his team. The last year was Russell Westbrook. It's his team. Carmelo Anthony, it was his team in New York. 3 guys who have been the guys on their respective teams
with no one else essentially
are now meshing together.
Yeah.
That's the only thing standing in the way of the Oklahoma City Thunder, in my opinion.
Yeah, let's see how they mesh. And again, my point is that starts with Russ. That all starts with Russ. They know that he's the man, he's the MVP, he's the $205 million man, and he's going to have to be that leader.
Dwayne Wade is now a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers, joining up forces with his buddy LeBron James to try and bring another chip to Cleveland. And 12-time All-Star, that is, Mr. Dwayne Wade. It is a 1-year, $2.3 million deal. It's the veteran's minimum, by the way.
And he doesn't care because he's with his best bud.
Of course. And we all respect Dwayne Wade. If you don't respect Dwayne Wade, you can go kick rocks.
You don't like basketball if you don't like
Dwayne Wade. You don't know basketball. You don't know anything about basketball if you don't respect Dwayne Wade. But I want to focus more so on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, Isaiah Thomas, he's injured. He's going to miss some time. Derrick Rose is going to start the year at the point for them. You add Dwayne Wade there at the 2 with JR and with Shump, LeBron, and there's reports that Kevin Love's going to start at center now, and Tristan Thompson is okay with that, according to reports. I'd
be surprised. I'd be surprised with that.
I still see, it's obviously a collision course with Boston. It's way too early right now for me to pick Boston versus Cleveland. I need to see Boston. I need to see it.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going to pick Boston to have the number 1 seed. I don't know. The postseason, LeBron is LeBron, so for now I'm still having the Cavs come out.
Yeah.
But with Isaiah Thomas potentially missing all the way through Christmas or the All-Star break, that's a long time without your starting PG. That's a very long time. And considering you still have to mesh after he comes back. So I'm definitely going to go with the Celtics for the number 1 seed right now because they're going to have at least that first half to mesh, while Cleveland, with a brand new point guard essentially, is going to have to find a whole new thing. And what if Derrick Rose has a great season? Then what happens? Who starts? All this stuff happens. And then we see where it goes. But for now, I'm going to have the Celtics as the number 1 seed. But let's get back to this Dwayne Wade's news. I love it. I mean, no one's surprised. I think pretty much anyone who really saw the situation saw that he's going to go re-up with LeBron. But I'll tell you what, Weston, after seeing all those hype videos of like the reunion, I am so excited to see Dwayne Wade and LeBron James back on the same team. I mean, people forget how fun it was to watch Miami because they hated that team so much. But when you look back, That team was exciting. These guys are two peas in a pod. They call themselves peanut butter and jelly. I mean,
Makes
come
sense.
on. It just works so well.
It does.
And I'm just so excited. I think Dwayne Wade's going to be rejuvenated. Bearing injury, these two guys can bring back a whole new spark and a whole new vibe to a very, very rough Cleveland offseason.
The NBA preseason got started on Saturday, and everybody's like,
NBA basketball is back. WNBA basketball is wrapping up. I mean, I'm getting my basketball dose every single week. I'm so excited.
See, this is why life is good right now for us, LAF, because you got your basketball. I got my hockey, baby. We're all cool. We're all cool, baby. And the MLB postseason is here, and we're going to talk about that next segment. But real quick, the Timberwolves beat the Lakers in the first game of the preseason, and then the Nuggets beat the Warriors. So it's good to see the NBA preseason back. I'm not paying too much attention to it right now.
No, I'm not gonna. It's just nice to see them getting their groove going.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone is rusty.
So,
everyone's shaking it off.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, everybody's been wanting, like, oh, just get this offseason done, please. There's so much action and everything. We just want to see the games. But now that they're finally here and we're getting closer,